Hello, this video is going to show you how to do your LinkedIn profile. So I'm making up a LinkedIn profile right now. I went to linkedin.com and this section right here where it says be great at what you do, get started, it's free. I put my information in and hopefully it will let me join. And okay, so we'll just call it example. Okay, so once you do this, it's going to walk you through various steps. So it's going to want you to try to be recognizable. It's going to ask if you're a student, and if you are, it lets you indicate your university or college and your start year. You can do it either way. If you're in a position that you're proud of, you can talk about your job title and your company. However, if you aren't currently working, you could again put your university and your start year and year expected. So I'm just going to make this information up and hit next. Okay, it's going to ask you what you're most interested in, and in this case I'm going to have you just put not sure, I'm open, unless you know specifically what you want to do. So now it's going to go to verify my email, and I'm going to go to the correct email that I had so that I can get this code. And I received it. It says my code number is 233576. Now it wants to go through my contacts, but I'm going to click skip on this one. However, if you want to try to find some of your contacts, you can very easily, it goes through your emails and your contact list, and it allows you to add different connections. Once again, I'm just going to hit skip here. And here's where you are going to be adding a picture to your profile. Now you can use the picture if it's professional, the one that you used at the beginning of our course with your CourseDen profile or your UWG profile, but you're going to upload a photo. This is very important, and if you do not do this, you will end up losing points. So I'm just going to go in here quickly. I know exactly where my picture is, and I'm going to size it, hit save, and now I can continue. It's going to see if I want to download an app, and right now I'm just going to hit next. So here's my example, or my new profile, and what you'll see here is that you'll be going through different sections and you're going to be editing things. So from here you can do a bunch of different things. You will need to go into your actual profile and put some of the information and experience that you have. So if you go through the steps, you can indicate all of this information. When you have a position, you indicate your title, whatever your job title was, the company, the location, when, if you're currently working. And here in the description is where you will actually cut and paste from your resume. So once you go in here, you'll cut and paste from your resume, and this way you'll be able to have bullet points. And this is one of the requirements, that you do have bullet points. If for some reason you don't do this, you can always make bullet points by having 2 dashes like this and adding the information. So you can do that as well. So I'm going to click out of this and I'm going to go to the next section, which is education. And here in education, the same thing, you're going to indicate your school. Once you indicate your school, it will actually come up as a legit school that will have the picture. You'll indicate the degree, if there's a particular field. So if you're getting a bachelor's of business administration, the field of study would be the specific area, such as accounting, finance, marketing, real estate, management. If you're going into mass communication, or if you're in mass communication, the degree would be, I believe, a Bachelor of Science, and then the field of study would be mass communication. If you have a good GPA, you can indicate your GPA. That's what grade is. If you belong to any activities, involved in any activities or societies or student organizations, this is another place that it would be good for you to use bullet points or these dashes in order to indicate what activities and societies, so it looks more professional. Talks about the time that you're at the university and when you are expected to graduate. And if you want to include any kind of description, you can also upload any course projects or anything that you would be proud to share. The next section you can see here, volunteer experience. So if you currently are volunteering or you have volunteered in any way, this could also include involvement in student organizations, because when you are involved in a student organization, in essence, you are volunteering. So this will allow you to indicate the organization, the role, etc. And then the next area would be your skills section. Now you're required to include 10 skills. So what you'll do is you will actually type in the various skills that you're good at. So if you're good at Microsoft Office, you can indicate that. You can also add additional skills. And even if you type, for example, CU, you can see a lot of different things pop up. So you can add these different items so that they end up under your skills. And you can see here, these are where the skills are located. And in this case, I actually have to edit my customer service because it did not appear correctly, nor did my Microsoft. So make sure that you take a look at this and that you actually have the correct spelling and that it's capitalized and that you have at least 10 of those items. The next thing that you're going to need to include are any accomplishments. So it goes through the list here of any publications or certifications. If you have any kind of courses that you've been taking that will add to your skills or qualifications, any kind of projects, maybe course projects you'd like to demonstrate, honors or awards, any type of, if you've taken a national exam with test scores, any kind of languages, or any kind of student organizations would go under your accomplishments. So from there, you're going to go into your public profile and URL. And in here, this will just allow you to set some of the different settings, some of the security settings. Go back into my profile. It will also let you see things in a different language if you wanted to, or add another profile. Now here is where you will be indicating your summary, or your the summary that's required and that's worth 40 points in this whole scheme of things. So in here, you'll make sure that you have your name correctly spelled, what your title is, or headline if you want to include a headline, your current position, or your education. And you'll want to make sure that you read over the information about how to write an effective summary or your summary statement, because this is very important. You can also upload things such as your resume or any other documents, things that are professional that you want to make sure that you include, and not personal information or anything that would affect your credibility. So again, this is where you would edit your intro right here, and here's where you develop your sections. The other things that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to add some groups. So here are some groups that you can add, and I have all the information here. You can go into discover groups, and if there are no groups to discover, you can also take a look at some other groups that you might be interested in. Are they right here? You can also take a tour. Oh, you'll have some recommendations on one. I was wondering why it wouldn't give me any information. It's because I didn't put any experience or education or anything in here. Once you do that, it will actually give you recommendations and you can add to those groups. Worst case scenario, you can always use University of West Georgia as a group or Richards College of Business as well. Then you can go back to LinkedIn. Another area too is you want to make sure that you join some companies. And you can do so by actually searching in here and finding a company. Let's say that you're interested in, I'll just say one of my favorite companies, Louis Vuitton. So you can see here that you can follow Louis Vuitton, and then they'll give you some updates on things that are happening. And you can also see what other companies were viewed, as well as any updates or also employees that are involved in this group as well. So you can see all the different employees from Louis Vuitton if you're looking for people. So it's a really great resource. So on a serious note, I'll just put in something a little bit more appropriate instead of my favorite designer. So let's just say I put in LinkedIn, because we're working on this. So you can follow LinkedIn. You can also see all the employees. You can see what they're currently doing and get this information. Same with other areas. So this is how you join companies. The other thing is joining schools. So you can type in the different schools that you are interested in. You may just want to type in University of West Georgia. Once you click in University of West Georgia, you can follow them. You can also go to any other school, but you will need to have at least one school that you are following, and then it will give you updates. It will let you see some of the employees and that information. Now, the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to be finding some influencers. So in order to do that, you actually have to go to the URL up here, go to LinkedIn, and then discover. Hold on one second. Let me just double check. Okay. So what you'll do in order to find your LinkedIn influencers is you will go to Pulse Discover. I'm sorry, I forgot one word. Pulse Discover. So once you go to LinkedIn Pulse Discover, you'll be able to see all these different influencers as well as different topics. So if you're interested in leadership and management, you can just click on here and you can begin following leadership and management. You can also go back and you can follow other things, social media, different topics such as that. All you have to do is just click at the top and you'll see a check mark. Now, I also want you to think about some very influential people. So for example, the CEO of LinkedIn, you could follow people such as him. It's not letting me. Okay, not quite sure, but we will. I will click on them and actually follow them this way. And this may be not letting me do this due to the fact that I have absolutely no data in here, so it's not quite sure what I'm doing, and there's nothing to follow because I have no content. But again, these are different things that you can click into, the different topics, innovation, entrepreneurship, professional women, green businesses, career information, which is a very good one to follow. And then you should be able to follow individuals once you put content in. So if you click back here and go back to LinkedIn, you can see that this is how you create your profile. So once you do that, you will end up having a really great profile. I will see if I can pull up one of my students from one of my past students. I'm not currently in my own. Actually, I think maybe I should go into my own LinkedIn so I can find people. And now my own LinkedIn, I can show you Ethan. He is one of my past students who's now a graduate student. He is a great example. Here he's actually indicating that he's searching for an internship. It talks about who he's following, some of his activities. He actually has a little bit of a blog, some of his experience. He's included media, indicated his different work experience in bullet points as well. He was part of the Southwire group with the sustainability program, mentions his education, which he's been working on his degrees overseas in France. Here's his bachelor's degree at University of West Georgia. Talks about some of his accomplishments here and also included some media. He included some other projects that he had been working on while an undergraduate, his volunteer experience, his different skills, which he has 22 of them, people that have actually given him recommendations, some of his accomplishments in at a glance, his interests. You can see these are the influencers, the companies, the groups, and the schools. So you can see that he is very active on LinkedIn, and as a result, he is able to do a great job in building his network. So hopefully this has given you some information on what you need to do in order to be have an excellent LinkedIn profile, which is one of your first steps to having a professional footprint on the internet. If you have any questions, let me know, and I look forward to reviewing and grading your LinkedIn profile.